Hey Randy, how you
Hi,
doing?
man. Sorry, my phone died.
Hey, no problem, no problem.
Nice to
Welcome,
see you
welcome
again.
back.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's no problem. How are you feeling, and how was fight camp?
Fight camp is amazing. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling confident. My cardio is amazing. That is like the one thing that I really, really focused on this time because I know last time I didn't put emphasis on it because I was trying to gain weight. And now we're doing a catch weight of 120. Everything is just smooth. Perfect.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask about that. Now, was that negotiations with Bellator, or is that the fight they wanted it at?
No, my management team negotiated that for me. So I
Yeah,
know my opponent, she wanted to meet at 120, which was perfect for me because I I like being smaller anyways, so
yeah. Like, is that something that you like to go with going forward, or are you gonna go back to your normal weight class?
I would love to make my way down to 115. That is the dream.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
I kind of want to ask about your training over in California. I know you and Manny just got back.
Yeah.
So training at Combat Sports Academy, can you talk about the experience and what prompted your decision to spend your fight camp there?
Well, I went there for my last camp. We did two trips out there. I think one was 2 weeks, one was 10 days. And then this time I went for just over 10 days. And honestly, like there's such a difference between last time and this time because last time I feel like my head was not in the right space for everything. But this time going there, I had an open mind and I did a lot of self work. Like I have a sports psychologist that I've been speaking with, and just being practicing gratitude and being inspired by myself because I think I was looking to every Tom, Dick, and Harry to inspire me. But really, like at the end of the day, you have to be inspired by yourself and believe in yourself. Right, coach?
Yeah, yeah. No doubt, no doubt. And that's you actually kind of answered my question. I mean, is that probably one of the biggest things you learned through your fight camp? Or, you talked about working on the cardio, but what else have you learned since you've been there this time?
Well, while I was there, I looked into an accident that I had back in 2003 because my sports psychologist asked me a question about when's the time that you felt that you demonstrated strength, and my answer to that was I don't think I've ever demonstrated strength. I think I need to work on that. So then I was like, okay, girl, you got to get your shovel and start digging and find out when you've been put in situations where you had to be strong. And there is so many, but this one specifically I wanted to focus on because there's it was like a matter of life and death. And I know that how hard I hit my face off that tree. And I know that I was still fighting to stay awake. And it's just like that shows you right there, 13 years old, you probably should have died and you were fighting to stay awake. Like you're a badass. Like just take it and run.
Hmm. Well, and I
Yeah.
think that really shows in your fights. Like you never give up in your fights, and it really shows your grittiness and your toughness that you display in every fight.
Yeah.
But that being said, did you when you were in California, did you obviously you're there to train, but did you get to enjoy the weather? Did you go out and do anything fun while you were there?
Nope. The best things, like I stayed at my hotel. So in the morning, I woke up, I went and trained in the morning. I went home, I iced, I went in the hot tub, I went back to train, I went home, I iced, I went in the hot tub. And it was the same thing every single day. I went out for dinner by myself. I really embraced my solitude. Every single day that I showed up to practice, except for one practice, was a little difficult for me, but there every single practice that I showed up to, I was like, this was my best session that I've had. So I'm really starting to, I think, understand MMA more, which is so important, and understanding without saying too much. Yeah, you guys are in for a treat. You're going to see a great performance.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I would never ask you to display your game plan.
Yeah.
With that being said, I do want to ask. I don't think I've ever asked you this. Your nickname, Rose City Phoenix. So, where's the story behind that, and when did you get that?
So we actually came up with that for my last fight. So Windsor is the Rose City, so that's what Windsor, Ontario is.
Probably should have.
That's okay. And then Phoenix is just, I feel like I've been reborn. I've had the chance to start my life over. If people have watched interviews from my past, they know I've had a really rough past. It's not pretty, but what I've been able to do with my life is completely beautiful, and it's just the rise of the Phoenix.
Yeah, and it's a very catchy, and I think it's unique and it's different. A lot of people use the same, like, you know, the this or this or this, and everyone seems to kind of use the same cliche nickname. So it's nice to kind of hear something different once in a while.
Thank you.
Yeah, so talking about Bellator 279, you know, it's going to be in Hawaii. You got Maraya Miller. She's a Hawaiian fighter. So when you were offered this fight, did you know anything about her? Did you know of her fighting abilities?
Yeah. We were offered like 3 fights, and she was probably my last pick that I wanted, but she's game. So you know what? Oh yeah, I'm game too. And I think that both of us are very strong fighters, and we both have a lot of talent that we can display, and we'll just see who's more intelligent in there.
Well, I'd like to ask, if you're allowed to, what were the other opponents you were offered?
To be honest, I just got my opponent's name right, so I don't even remember their names.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, I mean, what does it mean for you to go to Hawaii and, I mean, to fight someone who obviously has that home crowd advantage?
I've been like I fought in my hometown before, but I've also been the person that has been brought in against a hometown girl before too, and I've been booed. Yeah, but I still put on a great performance. So really, to me, that doesn't mean anything.
Like, I believe that, having that experience, do you like, I believe that that would be easier for you. But this should be a big card, considering a lot of the fighters on there are Hawaiian born fighters. I think there's a reason why they made this card specifically for a lot of those fighters.
Mhm.
So do you feel, with the past experience you've had, do you feel like that will make it easier to fight in that kind of enemy territory?
Absolutely. I felt like I know my last fight, I didn't feel good mentally. I felt like I was being brought in. But I also feel that, things could have turned out differently if I had a different mindset at the time. Um, but yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And I just like to ask about, like, the fight itself. I mean, obviously, you know, you talked a little bit about her, but what do you think you bring to that fight that's going to make it hard for
I'm a little bit taller. I'm taller. So to be honest, that's extravagant for me because I'm so used to going against all these tall girls, and I'm just like, even like this inch, I'm super excited about. So I think that I'll be able to stay a little bit long on her, which will be nice.
And that being said, it being you being the you know the bigger fighter now, I mean, the fact that you've had to always be the smaller fighter, like, do you feel like now, because you've had that experience, being the smaller fighter, it kind of makes this fight easier for you in a sense?
Maybe, yeah. I've also had the experience of being the larger fighter too. So I've kind of like I kind of was able to see how I was able to perform with that. I'm super excited though. Like honestly, like the mental health has really changed a lot, and that I feel like I've been kind of dealing with for a really long time.
Mhm.
So I don't think that there's any fight that you could even watch of mine that could show you how I'm going to perform this fight.
So, like you said, we're in for a treat.
Mhm.
Now, that being said, as far as I know, I think you're one of the earlier fights. As far as I know, I don't know what Bellator's plans are in terms of the card
Mhm.
planning. But that being said, if that's the case, do you plan on watching the rest of the card, or what would be your plans after the fight?
Oh yeah, like I got free tickets to the show, man. I'm super excited.
That's awesome. Did they give you like tickets right at the back or right up front? Like,
Yeah, well, you just kind of after the last one, we just kind of walked back, yeah, and got to watch the fight. So it's cool. But last time, like I had my braids in all week, and I just wanted to take them out and show people that I was pretty. So I ran back home and showered, and then by the time I came, it was almost over. So this time, I'm like, I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna try not to get so cut up this time.
excellent. Now that being said, after the fight, do you plan on staying in Hawaii for a little bit, making it a bit of a trip or like a vacation in a sense?
Yep. Yeah, I'm super excited. So they're sending me up a little early. I'm going up the 17th, which is really cool because it's also my 3-year sobriety date. So they're sending me up on the 17th, and then I get to celebrate my 32nd birthday, which is April 25th, in Hawaii, and then we come back on the 27th.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
you know, so you're gonna have your fight, obviously, but is there anything you're gonna do to celebrate after the fight?
Um, Probably just meeting people and connecting. That would be, I just want to grow my fan base because I feel like I have a lot of potential.
And is there any fights on that card that you're super excited to watch, obviously besides your own fight?
Yeah. Well, of course of course, Cyborg's fight. I can't wait to watch that. It was really nice. I got to meet her when I was in Vegas. My girlfriend did the tough tryouts before, and I was padman for her for the show, and I got to meet Chris, and we went out with her and her husband, um, and we sat together at dinner, and I got to stand off with her and stuff. So we have like that connection, but also her opponent too. Like her opponent's been reaching out to me on Instagram and sending me messages. So I'm really excited to see both these strong women fight. I'm so excited to be there.
Yeah, I mean, as much as Cyborg, when you see her get in the cage, she's a totally different person. But you see her outside, and she's not just a nice person, but she's such a good example of what a champion should be and what a champion is in and outside the cage. What do you think she does? What do you think she brings for a Bellator? Is that just that influence for women to get into MMA, and what do you think she does so much for Bellator?
I think it's just the person that she is. I mean, if you've watched documentaries that she's done, like she did one of her weight cuts, and I still like I'll never forget when I watched her crying, and like I've felt that before, but I know that it's leading us to a better place. And she just shows like, yeah, not everything is easy, and I'm not the strongest, so I'm not gonna not cry. I cry sometimes too, and it just shows you that we're more alike than you think.
Obviously you're going to be fighting in the next little while. But looking in a perfect world, how many more fights would you like this year?
Maybe two more.
Two more?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean,
And
I thought not closer since then, what, 6 months? Yeah, too long. I don't like that.
would you kind of be looking more towards summer, late summer?
Late summer.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Randy, I understand, you're only a few weeks out from your fight here, so I won't take too much more of your time. So, Randy, I appreciate you taking the time. I know we were kind of running late here, but that's okay. I appreciate you taking your time to taking that interview with me, and good luck at Bellator 279.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Randy.